Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Bryan. Bryan is from Toronto in Canada, but he lives in Tokyo in Japan. So let's see what Bryan has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hello, William.
Hello, Bryan. How are you?
I'm good. Nice to meet you. I'm so sorry for having to reschedule
It,
twice. I apologize.
it's okay. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. I think we meant to have the interview today. It meant to be today.
Yeah, well, it appears so. It appears so, my friend.
So tell me, how was your day today?
Yeah, today was busy, very busy, but yeah, it ended up being a pretty good day. How about yourself?
It's been great in London today. It's a sunny day actually. We are in the autumn now, in the fall, and suddenly, this time of the year, it can be, cold. It can be still a little bit warm. It's kind of
Mhm.
adjusting the weather for the winter time coming the end of the year. So yeah, it's been a great day. It's good. I've been doing interviews, and it's good to be here.
Awesome. That's great.
So tell me, where are you from, Bryan?
So I'm from Toronto, Canada.
Oh my God, amazing! Born and
Well,
raised.
I'm actually from a place called Burlington, which is basically part of the Greater Toronto area. But yeah, when people ask, I just say Toronto because nobody's going to know where Burlington is. So basically, it's Toronto. Yeah, born and raised there. That's right.
But I believe you are in Japan right now.
That's right. So I've been living in Japan for almost 20 years at this point.
My goodness, it's been a long
Mhm.
time already. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
And why Japan?
It just happened to me. So when I graduated from college, my best friend was living and working in Japan at that time, and I just wanted to experience living in another culture, living in another society, and I was thinking about going to a few different places. But because my best friend was already in Japan, he had graduated a year before I did. Um, he recommended that I come to Japan, and so that's why I came here. And then one thing happens after another, and life happens, and then almost 20 years later, I find myself still here. So
Oh my God, what an amazing opportunity. I'll tell you something, Bryan. I always been fascinated about the Japanese culture, always been. I've been living in London for so many years now, actually, this almost the same time that we've been living in Japan. And
mhm.
I was working in hospitality, and we had so many Japanese guests. The way they talk to you, the way they approach you, the way it's something different that you cannot find any other culture. You know what I mean? I think they are heads, very well for sure. And that's something about the culture that I always been fascinated. And where's about are you based in Japan?
So I'm living in Tokyo now. Most of my time living here was actually in the north, but I moved to Tokyo about a year and a half ago.
See, and what do you do for work, for living?
So when I first came to Japan, I was an English teacher. I was working for an English school, and I did various jobs over the next several years within that industry. And then I started in 2000 and what was it, 2013, I believe. I started my own company, which was basically I was still teaching, and I am still teaching now, but it's basically introducing various language teachers with different contracts. So, with universities and companies and um, hospitals and clinics and things like that. And recently in my life, I have started to do other things online in order to generate other revenue streams. So I do a few different things at the moment.
This man.
Yeah, very, very. Yeah, sure.
Okay, Bryan. So during the journey, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your life, about your career, and also about your point of views. Okay.
Sure. Let's go for it.
So before we start our journey, William the Magic Box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself that not many people know about you.
Oh my gosh, something that not many people know about me. Well, I mean, I guess like a lot of my the people already watch me, a lot of my followers, my viewers, they would know this about me, but I don't know if you know this about me, so I'll just tell you. But so basically, most of my life, I've been very involved in the martial arts. I started training when I was very young age. I've done all kinds of martial arts, wrestling and karate and boxing and Muay Thai and various things, and I still love it, even at my age now. I enjoy training, and yeah, it's a very very important part of my life.
I didn't know that. Amazing.
Yeah.
Bryan, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Let's try it. Let's try it.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So this is my best friend, full of fun questions. I'm just gonna play a song now, just for us to relax a bit before the first question. Okay?
Okay.
Just let's do it. Okay, Bryan, so before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, some reason you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Yep.
Right, first question for you is, if you could stay any age for the rest of your life, what age that would be and why?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know. I guess I'd have to say 25. 25.
Why is that?
I think 25 was an age that I thoroughly enjoyed. I was still young and um, just full of energy, and 25 was a good. I mean, 25 was when I came to Japan, so it was a really exciting time in my life. Everything around me was new, and yeah, I was just really happy where I was at with myself mentally, physically, and I think that would be a good age to stay forever.
I'll tell you something now. I mean, you're 25 when you moved to Japan. You've been there
Yeah.
like almost 20 years. I would never say your age you are right now. Seriously, I would give you around almost 30. I would say. I think Japanese culture is keeping you very well.
Yeah. I get that a lot. So actually, like on my TikTok channel,
My
one of the common things that I do is I do street interviews. I walk around, I ask people on the street various questions, and of course, one of the common questions is, "How old do you think I am?" And it's always entertaining to hear their reaction when I tell them the truth. So yeah, good genes. I got good genes.
my
Both my
goodness.
parents look quite young for their age. So yeah.
Yes, and also I think Japanese culture keeps you really, really young. Tell me something. Aging for you is something that bothers you, or is just a matter of life?
No, age itself doesn't bother me at all. I mean, what bothers me is, as I said, my whole life I've been very involved in the martial arts. I've done a lot of competition. What
Mhm.
bothers me is now at my age, I can't compete anymore. I can't do what I used to do. So not being able to do the things that I used to enjoy doing physically, that bothers me.
Right.
But actually getting older, I think a lot of people are really consumed with the desire to stay young, and that's not something that I'm about. But it would be nice to be able to do some of the things that I can't do anymore.
Okay. Next question. Next question for you is, define yourself in a season of the year and why?
Definitely autumn. Definitely autumn, because I can be warm and I can be cool, and in a state of change, in a constant state of change, both in my moods and in my uh, the way that I look at the world, right, and um, the way that I carry myself. I would say. I mean, we're always changing, and I think if we're not changing, then that's probably not a very good thing. So
What's the season in Japan right now?
it is autumn. It is autumn
It's
now.
all
We just entered fall. Yeah.
I see. Somebody told me a while ago that you feel very connected with the season when you were born. Is the same for you? You're born during the autumn?
No, I was actually born in the spring, so that doesn't fit me. No, no, no.
For me, it does fit well. It's my favorite season of the year, and I was born in November, so for me, it's the best season. There's something
Okay.
about it, not too cold, not too warm. I think the leaves, you know what I mean. There's something. Some people they find it quite melancholic, but for
Yeah,
me, it's something there that's I don't know. It's something very cozy about the fall for sure.
I totally agree. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Next one. So before the next question, yeah, we connected through TikTok, and I could see that you have a lot of followers on TikTok. Yeah, quite popular out there. Tell me, and you do as well some interviews around the street. So tell me, walk me through a little bit about your TikTok page. What is about? What people, expecting when they come to visit on your page? What to express there about? What's something about the your page that gets very popular?
Yeah, well, I mean, what they expect now is what I've really consciously been trying to create, which is really just a positive space. So, I kind of stumbled into this. I started my TikTok basically as a joke. Like I wasn't intending to do anything with it, and for whatever reason, it really took off. And definitely the videos where I'm doing the street interviews. I mean, they're very popular. Just all kind, just the filters. I do use a lot of the filters you find on the TikTok app, and people seem to really love that. But the live, whenever I go live, I mean, that's really what's built the community. And I think, well, I know based on the feedback that I get, one of the reasons that it seems to be going very well and people seem to be gravitating to it is because I interact with the people on my live. I have my viewers jump on, and we talk about life, we talk about what's going on with them, we talk about good things and bad things. What I see a lot of people doing on TikTok, I see a lot of trolling, I see a lot of shticks, certain gimmicks, and I'm not judging that. I think, like, what I've noticed is a lot of the people doing those types of things are younger people. So I'm sure it's a generational thing. I mean, I'm an old man now, right? I'm compared to a lot of other people on TikTok. But I'm not judging that. That's all cool. It's just not me. It's not what I wanted to do. I love meeting people. I love interacting with people. I've always been a really social guy. And so what this has grown into, what it's all about now, is basically just creating a positive space, not a safe space. I want to be careful. I'm not into safe spaces, but a positive space where anybody can come and feel welcome, and we can just kind of get to know each other. We can connect. They can connect with me. They can connect with other members in the community, and that's what it's really grown into. And I'm really proud of it. So,
Okay, cool. Next question is, describe yourself in 3 words.
oh gosh, stubborn, active, crazy.
What do you mean by that, crazy? Which way?
I think I can be crazy. I think I can be. I guess I shouldn't be using that word in this sense, but I'm something I'm quite open about with my community. I suffer from mental issues. I have for a long time. I suffer from depression. I really struggle with maintaining. I struggle with a lot of things. So I I use that. I guess I shouldn't use that word, but I'm using that word partly to actually express the fact that I do have certain issues that I struggle with. However, I would also like to use the word crazy in that I can be a pretty wild guy. I think I can surprise people because I often give the impression that I'm very calm, and I really have things put together. But in some cases, that's definitely not the case. So yeah, that's
When you
why
say
we use the word great.
when you say you express yourself to your community, which community you mean?
Specifically talking about, the people on TikTok and recently growing more and more on Instagram as well.
I see. All right. Ready for another question?
Please.
Let's do it. Next one. You like dancing, Bryan?
Oh my God, I'm just a terrible dancer, horrible dancer. I love doing it, but I can't dance.
I think dancing, it's about you. Close your eyes. You think you are in your room, nobody's watching you, and you just move yourself. There are no rules.
Fair enough.
Next question is, what's the biggest difference between you and your best friends?
They've always known what they've wanted to do. I'll say best friend. I do have a specific one person who I would absolutely consider my absolute best friend. He's always known what he's wanted to do. He's chosen his life very deliberately and consciously. I have not. I've never known what I really wanted to do. I haven't chosen anything in my life. And this is something that I discuss with my community a lot. I have basically allowed the current of life to take me to where I am now. Wow. And so when I look at someone like my best friend, it's amazing to me to be that way, because I've just never been that way. I've never known what I've wanted to do. And I'm here right now in this space, in this place, because I've just allowed things to happen to me. I didn't choose to be here.
I think not knowing is a powerful place to be.
I think it can be, but I think it could also be a place of great weakness. And in my case, I feel a lot of regret with how I've allowed myself to simply been taken here, and I have not given myself. I've not allowed myself to actually choose a lot of the paths that I've taken. So that's how I feel about it.
And what's the big similarity between both of you?
We're both really into physical activity. We're both really into exercise, and we're both really into, we have the same very warped sense of humor. So, yeah.
Amazing. And he's back in Canada, or he's in Japan?
Back. Yeah, no, he's back in Canada now. So he lived in he lived in Japan for, I think, a total of maybe about 5 or 6 years, and so he's been back in Canada for quite some time. Yeah.
All right. Next question, Bryan. Let's do it. Before the next question, tell me, through those years when you arrived in Japan, tell me what was the most difficult part for you to adapt yourself to such a different culture back in Canada, to the country, to the people, to everything. And what's the best part of living there, in your opinion?
Okay, so there were a lot of things that were difficult to adapt to. Japan is not a social place. And what I mean by that is, in Canada, I can walk into a convenience store and I don't know the person at the register. I don't know who they are. We've never met before. And I can strike up a conversation, Hey, well, the weather, it's beautiful weather today. Did you see the hockey game last night? And what do you think about, something. Japan is not that way at all. It is not that way at all. People interact socially in specific places and at specific times and in specific ways. And that was very difficult for me to adjust to. The second part was what do I like about Japan? Is that
what I like the most about living there in Japan?
I would say probably the convenience of the public transportation. Especially in a city like Tokyo, I can get anywhere by a nearby train line, subway line, bus. Very, very different from North America, where essentially you need a car. Japan is not the way, and the public transportation system is fantastic.
And do you see yourself living there for a long while?
No, absolutely not. I have a limited time left here. I plan to be here for a couple more years, and then I will be moving on. Okay.
And do you speak Japanese fluently or not?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yes, I do. Yeah, yeah. I can read. I can write. I can function. Yeah, normally in the language. Yeah.
It's amazing. My goodness. Okay, next question is: how would you like to be remembered in life?
As someone who as someone who was kind to other people and made other people happy. Yeah.
Tell me something, Bryan. When you analyze yourself, when you think about you, what's the best part of being Bryan? What's the best part of being you?
I think just that. I think I do interact with other people well. I think I'm very good at forming relationships with people and making people feel comfortable around me. And yeah, I think that's something that I've always been good at. And yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah.
And when you decide to move to Japan, did you have the support of your family? They support you?
Yeah, they absolutely supported me. I mean, of course, my parents were not thrilled about it, and my you know, my mother, who is very very loving, protective Italian mother. It was not easy for her to let me go, but yeah, they were very supportive.
Do you have siblings as well?
Yeah, I have a younger brother. Yeah.
And who in your family you are more close to, if I'll ask this question?
Well, I mean, I have a very good relationship with both my mother and my father. If I had to choose who I'm closest to, it would be between them. But I would probably say my mother, but it's not. I wouldn't use the term that I wouldn't use the term closest. It's just that we have a certain kind of relationship that I don't necessarily have with other people. But that could be said the same with my father. I have a certain relationship with him that I don't have with her or anyone else. So yeah, it's a difficult question to answer, but I would probably say my mother if I'm forced.
All right. Next question. Let's do it, Bryan. Next question is: what's something you always wanted to do but you're scared of?
So that's difficult. You know what? I would. Okay. Well. Okay. Also, I wouldn't say something that I've always wanted to do, but I'll say something that I have wanted to do for the past several years of my life, and that is to start training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But I am too scared to do that simply because of my age and of the wear and tear that I've already put on my body through wrestling and other things. I'm afraid that if I were to start doing it, I would injure myself very badly. So yeah, that's how I would.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu is very big in Brazil. I remember growing up, for me, it's already like football. Yeah, like Brazilian, we have this. It's so funny because I met so many people here in Europe. When I was in Montreal last year, actually, I'm going to Canada in 2 weeks' time. My best friend, he lives in Montreal, and I've been 3 times. The 4th time I'm coming now, and I remember where he lived. There's a jiu-jitsu place with a Brazilian flag. There I was like, oh my god, look at that. So yeah, growing up, I even remember like jiu-jitsu was something normal. Like I could, people, it's quite big in Brazil as well. Sure. Like football. So yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Next question. Let's do it, Bryan. Before the next question, being a teacher, of course, yeah, I think it's a gift when you are able to teach, children, people. Tell me, but at the same time as well, I'm sure teaching, you learn a lot from your students, yeah? Tell me, if you could share a situation or a lesson or something that you've learned from, a student that You're never gonna forget. You're always gonna have like a special place in your heart, if you could share.
I've learned that no matter what your age, no matter what your age, you should always be trying to educate yourself and learn. A woman that I have taught for many years, I believe at this point she is 68 years old.
Wow.
And yeah, and she is still, not only does she continue to study English, but she she's recently studied for specific certification in dealing with real estate law. A few years ago, she got a certification. I'm not exactly, I can't remember what it was for, but she is constantly learning. She's constantly trying to educate herself.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that is something I find extremely inspiring. And I hope that no matter what age I am, I will always try to better myself and learn.
Okay. Next question is, what's the biggest risk have you ever taken?
Without going into too many private details, I would definitely say coming here to Tokyo. There were a lot of things in my life, a lot of factors in my life that made coming here very, very scary.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I would absolutely say that taking that risk to come to Tokyo has worked out very, very well. Some other things I have yet to see how they unfold, but yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah.
And when you think about that, about your life, do you think you meant to be in Japan?
Yeah, I suppose I am. I have a very, very my feelings towards Japan, it's very much a love-hate relationship. So
right.
when you ask me this question, the answer is yes, and having to say yes does not make me feel very good about having to say yes. Yeah, yeah, but no, I suppose I was meant to be in Japan. Yeah, as much as I hate to admit it. Yeah.
3 questions left. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right. Next question is, what does money mean to you?
Nothing. Money itself means absolutely nothing to me. I hate money. Wow. The ability to not have to worry about money, of course, is something that means a lot to me, and I'm sure to all of us. But I'm absolutely not someone who's driven by money in any way, shape, or form. Yeah.
Do you think money can bring happiness?
Well, I mean, it absolutely can. There's no doubt about it that money can bring a degree of happiness. The fact is that if you are financially unable to afford your food bill or your rent or your health care, that is going to have a it's just, I mean, it's extremely hard to be quote unquote happy if that is the situation that you find yourself in when you're constantly under stress, under a financial stress. So yeah, there's no doubt about it. Money can buy happiness. Now, after a certain amount of money, does your happiness increase? No, it does not. Well, there was actually a really interesting study about that. I can't remember which. I want to say Princeton University, but I could be completely off. There's a very interesting study about that, how up to a certain yearly salary, money very much improves the quality of life and thus our happiness. But after a certain amount, it doesn't seem to have any effect. So
cool. 2 questions left, Bryan. Let's do it. Before the next question, let's pretend now that you are live on TikTok doing your interviews or you're connecting with people. Tell me, we are connecting now. So I pass all the place for you now. You are in charge of the video right now. Walk me through a little day. You just met me in the streets. How would approach me?
Okay. So it's nice to meet you. May I ask your name?
William.
Oh, William, that's great. William, where are you from?
I'm originally from Brazil, but I live in London, in the UK.
Fantastic. William, let me ask you a question. What is one of the biggest differences between Brazil and the UK?
Great question. I think the biggest, since I've been living in Europe for the last 20 years, I would say that in Brazil, we have this approach. It's a different approach as about when you meet people for the first time. In Brazil, if you go to Brazil, if you meet someone random the street for any reason to ask information, after 5 minutes, you're gonna feel the other person is your best friend, because the way we talk, the way we approach, you feel very comfortable, you feel very welcome. In Europe, let's say in London, it's a totally different approach. People can come across cold, you know what I mean? They're not, it's just that they are straightforward to the question, to the approach, which question you ask for. They literally go straight away to the answer, and that's it. It's not a bad or wrong, that's a right or wrong. It's just a different approach. So to say about people, it's a culture thing, the way we approach, connect with people is such a different way. I would say that.
Very interesting. Let me give you one more question. If you were to give another Brazilian one piece of advice, if they were coming to live in the UK or London, what advice would you give them?
My God, you put me in this spot now, Bryan. And a good question. I love the question. I'll tell them, just keep in mind that, first of all, it's not going to be easy. Actually, I'm going to be the same advice that I've been given when I came to Europe for the first time. People, back to the same way I told you now, people, they're not going to talk to you the same way that you've been, got used to talking to strangers in Brazil. Not just that. People here, for you to become friends with anyone like in a country, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. They're not going to invite to their house straight away. They're not going to invite to a circle of friends straight away for a pint or for a meal. It's going to take time. They build a relationship in a different way that we build in Brazil. So we're going to feel lonely. We're going to feel alone for a while until we start getting, into the culture. That would be my advice.
That sounds fantastic. I got one more question for you, William.
Okay.
How old do you think I am?
That's the okay. I'm gonna be very honest. I will tell you were 27 years old.
Wow, you just brought a smile to my face, my friend. Thank you so much. But yeah, I am actually 44. So thank you very much. Yeah.
So now back to I'm gonna put the hot potato in your hand right now. What's the deal? What's the secret of for you to look so young?
Yeah, I have no secret. I mean, I just use Nivea face cream, the same stuff you can get anywhere. Yeah, I got no secret. I honestly, it's good genes. It's good genes. I mean, I think I've always exercised a lot. I've always eaten very healthy. So yeah, that's it. Got no secret. I just lucky.
Amazing. My goodness, I love that, Bryan. I think that's really spontaneous. I like the idea of you walking around the street and literally connecting with people, random people. I think I'm sure it's amazing for you. You learn a lot, and connect with people. It's magic. That's how I see.
I thoroughly enjoy it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun for sure. Yeah.
Thanks so much for sharing a little bit of your TikTok here on the show.
You're welcome.
Next question is, if you could go back in time in one moment or memory in your life, what that would be and why?
Oh, my gosh, are you giving me a lot of good questions? I would say one of the, there's so many, of course, that I would choose, but one of the moments that I would go back to is when I first saw Halong Bay in Vietnam. So again, I traveled there. I was my first. Well, no, I think it was maybe my second year in Japan at that point. Anyway, I'm still young, close to 25, my ideal age. And when I saw that place, Halong Bay, it was just so incredibly beautiful. Again, I think I was at a really good point in my life, mentally, physically, and I just felt really happy. I felt really, really happy, surrounded by that beauty, feeling confident, feeling sure of myself, looking forward to the future. Yeah, that was a very good memory.
See, you know what you're saying about age again. I'm gonna go back again to there. That define Bryan at 25 and Bryan in one word. Bryan at 25 and Bryan at 44. One word.
Well, in one word. Oh gosh,
Yeah.
Optimistic.
25.
Yeah, I was more optimistic at 25. Yeah.
And 44. One word, Bryan.
Pessimistic, absolutely pessimistic. And I don't necessarily, yeah, and I don't necessarily mean that about myself. I mean that about the world. I think we are in a really bad place. I do. I mean, for all kinds of reasons, I think that we are in a really bad place. And I don't know about you, William, but when I read the news and hear about what's going on with the people around me, it is not too often that I hear something positive or something good, and that really, really concerns me. So, yeah.
Reality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready for the last question?
I am.
Let's do it. Last question, Bryan. But before the last question, tell me what Japanese culture has taught you so far.
Patience. Definitely. I absolutely. That is something that, yeah, I have become much, much more patient person than I was before I lived here. Yeah.
Amazing. Last question is, what does happiness mean to you?
Having the ability to accept your faults, to accept your regrets, to accept the things about you that you don't like, and appreciate who you are for who you are. If you can do that, and I think a lot of us can, but some of us have a real difficulty doing that. But if you can do that, I think you can achieve a state which could otherwise, be known as happiness.
And do you think happiness is a choice?
No, absolutely not. Because as somebody, as I say, who has struggled with mental health issues, I know for a fact that for many of us, it's just simply not. For many of us, it's just an ongoing challenge. It really is. Yeah.
Okay. It's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
I can't stand this game, but I'm going to do my best, William. All right, let's go for it.
Let's start with politics.
Lies.
Family.
One more time.
Family.
Love.
How about life?
Difficult.
Sex.
Always.
Love.
The best.
Money.
Hate.
Religion.
Spiritual.
Fear.
Little.
Friendship.
Important.
Desire.
A lot.
Regrets.
Many.
Success.
Soon.
Wish.
Some.
Happiness.
Achievable.
One word for Toronto.
Home.
One word for Canada.
Safe.
Tokyo. One word.
Congested.
One word for Japan.
Island.
If you could define your TikTok page in one word, what that would be?
Welcoming.
One word for martial arts.
Necessary.
The last one now, teaching, one word.
Challenging.
My God, that was very easy. Wow, you went this all the way. I love it. Wow, well done. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your best friend. Yeah, the one you mentioned. I'm going to ask him, what's the best part of being Bryan? Sorry, what's the best part of Bryan? And what's something that he still needs to work on, to improve on? What your best friend would say?
He's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Self-control.
As a negative?
Yeah. The part that I need to work on probably would be self-control.
If I would ask the same question to your mom, would be the same answer?
Kind.
Mm-hmm.
Self-control.
Wow, wow. Okay, let's play now. Bryan, the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before you ask me the question, tell me what's your favorite Japanese word?
Norikoeru. Norikoeru means overcome.
Wow, amazing, very good. When you arrived in Japan, what was the word that was very difficult for you to memorize or to say? There was one that you remember was quite difficult for you to get it right. A phrase or
I honestly can't think of one word, but what I would just say is it was very difficult for me to be able to learn the different way that they conjugate verbs, because in Japanese we conjugate verbs, right? So if you're talking about to go, it would be like iku or ikimasu, and if you're talking about went, it would be itta or ikimashita. Going iteru. So to conjugate verbs is extremely difficult, and it took me a long time to be able to do that correctly.
interesting saying that, because in Portuguese we have very similar ways. Verbs in Portuguese, it's really hard, for you to get it right, because we have so many verbs in different ways as well. Even and the only way sometimes for you to learn or to remember is practicing. You cannot memorize them because there are so many ways. So yeah, it reminds of that.
Interesting.
Okay, you can ask me a question now, Bryan.
Who do you respect most?
Who do you respect the most?
Hmm.
Out of 1,000 interviews I've done on the show so far, nobody asked me this question yet. My goodness.
First person that comes into your head, who do you respect most?
Okay, yeah. I'll answer straight away. Myself. I don't know, for some reason I think for you to be able to respect somebody else, you need to respect yourself first. And when I say that, it's about for you to be able to know your strength and your weakness, the bad and the good about yourself, and when you expose that towards people. So I think you need to understand that when I say respect, is about understanding that you need to respect yourself, knowing that before you show your ability to connect with someone in a positive, negative way, or in a challenge way. And I think you need to be able and understand about respect yourself first, because if you respect yourself, you're going to be able to respect other people as well.
I think it's an excellent answer.
Oh my God, I never been asked that. And seriously, I didn't even time to answer. It just came from my heart. I just said from my heart right now. And I even don't know if I said right or wrong.
That's the best way to answer, right from the heart. Yeah. So that's fantastic.
Absolutely. Did you enjoy the interview, Bryan?
I absolutely did, my friend. I really enjoyed talking to you. You seem like a really, really good person. So I'm very, very happy that you reached out to me, and I wish you the best, the absolute best in anything that you do from now on. And I have no doubt that whatever you do, it's going to go well, because you seem like a very authentic and genuine person, and I think that means something. So
Oh my God. Thanks so much, Brian. Thank you. And I'll tell you something as well. I'm gonna be very honest to you. When I approach you on social on TikTok, yeah, it's funny how you have a perception of a person, and when you talk to the person like we are doing now, I would never expect you to be this way. Like, I don't know. There's something about you that I didn't see on like watching some of your videos on TikTok. Yeah, and it's so interesting how surprised you get, talking to someone, the way you, I just knew, I tend not to look in too much about my guests because I like to get to know them during the interview. The only thing I knew, I can tell you, I just made a note here that you live in Japan, you love exploring the worlds, and you are a TikTok page. That's it. I made this three here because I'd like to see more. And trust me, I've learned a lot here just talking to you right now. It's been very interesting, so thanks so much for taking the time. But before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
I'm sure everybody has learned this in their first class of philosophy, but I really think it is something that is extremely important, and we should all always remember: the unexamined life is a life that is not worth living, as Socrates said, and I think that is something that is very important and should be always remembered.
Amazing. How to say goodbye in Japanese?
Well, you could just say bye-bye. I mean, sayonara. I mean, a lot of us in the West, we know that, but they don't usually say that. They would just say bye-bye or matane or mata kondo, something like that.
And arigato, it's thank you. Arigato is they just say arigato. There is other way to say thank you as well in Japanese.
Domo, which is basically thanks. Yeah. William, before we get out, let me just quickly do a very shout out, if you don't mind. And I just want anybody who's watching, guys, if you could please check me out on TikTok at Bryan Cool Beans. If you could check me out on Instagram at Bryan Cool Beans. It is the same name, at Bryan Cool Beans. TikTok and IG. We really appreciate anybody who's watching to check me out.
Please, let's check Brian. Let's see what he has to offer. Let's take his page. Let's have watched there. I'm sure you're going to be interacted and I'm going to learn a lot with Brian. So let's go there and check it out, his page for sure.
Thank you so much, William. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Enjoy your evening and you keep in touch, Brian. It was a pleasure, okay? Take care.
Absolutely, yeah. Take care now.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.